Hey everybody, we are back again with one more episode before 2017. Steven, Melissa, and I are talking about change in the new year and resolutions in our lives. It's episode 41, the holiday show. All right, well, hey everybody, we are back again with the Sustainable Ministry Show, hanging out with Stephen Ingram and Melissa Rao on Google Hangouts, playing with Party Effects, and we're having a good time. As we get started today, you guys, we've taken a few weeks off. It's that Christmas, New Year's holiday. I wondered, what are some of the highlights as you look back in this year, do a quick little year in review for yourself? What were some highlights from the year that just kind of stood out for you, besides this moment?
I think Google Party Effects is a pretty big highlight for me at this point. Keep up with it.
It's almost as good as Snapchat.
Watch, you can make your crown shrink. Watch.
All right. So for those of you who are just listening and not watching our podcast,
I forgot about that.
Really amazing, kind of Snapchatty filter on the video. And so Bryant is dressed up like an amazing pirate, and Steven has a king's crown on his forehead, and I have an angel's halo.
Wait, all three are probably couldn't be farther from the truth.
That's
Well, I'll plead the fifth.
Melissa, you have to tell your pirate joke.
Oh, I said, I'm so bad at telling jokes.
Ask Steven.
What is a pirate's favorite letter of the alphabet?
R.
R. You might think it might be the R, but it's actually the C.
Oh, that's so lame. So lame.
You know what? All right, so I'll go first.
Yeah, Melissa.
A highlight for my year, very recently, our church, my husband's in my church that he is the pastor of, we did an annual talent review, and they've been doing this talent show for decades, generations, and it's really a special thing. This was the first year I got to watch because I wasn't in town last year, and it's just a really cool time for the entire church to come together and do some of their talents and share some of their stuff, and moms and dads and singers who don't sing in the choir to sing and perform, and grandmothers and grandsons doing duets together. And that was just a real highlight for me. But our adventure crew kids, we have this ministry for 3rd through 6th graders where they get to have fun doing service related. Every week they get together and they do service related events or projects. And the adventure crew kids were the comic relief between acts. And so we had to come up with some of these corny, cheesy jokes that we said between acts. And that's one of the jokes that was shared, and it was delivered much, much better than I just delivered it.
Yeah, I think as I look back over the year, we talked about before, I moved into a new position at my church. Moved out of ministry for 18 years. I've not been in youth ministry. I'm, just doing a new position. So that's been really exciting. I've been able to spread out into some new areas and some stuff I really love. So that's been really cool. That's been a neat part of 2018. So yeah, I've enjoyed that.
How about you, Bryant?
Yeah, one of the highlights for me this summer was to plan and organize a mission trip, fill a bus with teenagers and volunteers, and step back off that bus and send them on their way. It was a really kind of a beautiful moment to send a team of adults and kids off together on a mission trip. Not in the sense that that there was just great joy in not being a part of it, but there's great joy in seeing people come together and work together for something bigger than just a staff involvement in something. So that was really cool. And then I had another that was kind of bittersweet. But my aunt passed away this year, and she was kind of like the matriarch of our family. This was back in March. And it was a real nice celebration with all our family coming together in a little Presbyterian church to celebrate her life. Up until the year she passed away, she was playing the organ and the piano in this church and had been doing that for like 40 or 50 years. In a little church in Logan, West Virginia. So that was a kind of a cool little highlight celebration from this year. As you guys go into the new year, I'm just curious if resolutions have been a part of your life, a part of your past, if that's something you kind of dig into every year. Are there resolutions ahead of you guys for 2017?
Yeah, it's funny. I think there's a deep theological debate among many philosophizers. Is that a word?
No.
You make up words every show.
Every show.
Totally be a word. Doesn't it have a great ring to it?
Philosophizers. Yeah.
Philosophizers.
I think they're called philosophers.
I know. But
In some
people who
circles,
are-
Stephen.
No, unlike philosophers who spend their time philosophizing,
You just made it into a verb.
it should totally be a word. Anyway, there's a lot of debate about, is New Year's resolution, should it be a thing or should it be a thing, or should we call it commitment instead of resolution? And I think there's a lot of things to be said about recommitting and recommitment and considering where you're at. I just don't know that it needs to be just a New Year's thing.
Yeah.
So with that aside, because we know the haters are going to hate. That we're talking about New Year's resolution and all. I think I was successful once when I said back in August of 2010, I have made my bed every single day since August 26, 2010. And it started with a commitment and it became a habit. And now even when I stay in hotel rooms, it's difficult for me to not make the bed. At least make it up so that it's, it's nice getting into a bed that's, freshly made. So I made that commitment once. I was successful at it, and I kind of dig that. So to me, I think this year I'm committing to have better email habits because right now I have 25,000 unread emails in my personal Gmail account. So I think it's time that I get that under control.
Maybe just start fresh.
Yeah.
Select all, delete, and then just go from there.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but then that would kind of defeat the purpose of why Gmail has such a large storage so that you never do have to delete it. Yeah, when I get spam or junk or anything like that, I don't read it. I don't even open it. I just let it go. And so my phone, let me show you. Can you see 55,007? I just got a new one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You just gave me an ulcer.
So
and 151
that's what I think
unanswered text messages.
Let me put on my consultant hat for a moment, Melissa.
Yeah.
Let me give you some consulting advice here.
Go for it.
Develop every morning you wake up. I'm sure you sleep with your phone beside your bed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so every morning when you wake up, this is what I do. Every morning when I wake up, I open up every one of my email accounts. I have 5, and I open up every one for different parts of my life and different things I do. I open up every single one of them, and I go through. And if it's important, I don't touch it. If I'm going to need to respond to it, I don't touch it. But if it's junk mail or it's something that somebody has just sent me a response to, and I don't need to, it's not actionable, I go through it and I just mark them as read. The ones, or I delete the ones that are obvious junk mail.
Yeah.
I grab my phone off my little side table. I do that before. That's the very first thing I do before I get out of bed. I don't answer important emails. I don't do any of that. But I go ahead and I get a clean slate to start the day.
Love it.
And if you do that, it's like I tell my son every night before he goes to bed. I'm like, buddy, if you spend 5 minutes, clean your room right before you go to bed, 3 hours cleaning at the end of the week.
It's true.
And so that's what I would say.
Melissa,
I love that advice. I'm going to take it and I'm going to do it. And that's my resolution. I'm going to have a cleaner email inbox.
It means you're not going to get out of bed till like 2 p.m. tomorrow.
That's right.
No, I'm going to start cleaning.
You say about New Year's.
I think I'm just going to do some major searching, like the Polo Factory. I'm going to search all of those things and just delete them,
Wipe them.
and wipe them, right? And then I'll have a clean slate.
Everything I think that I'm going to want to do in the next year, I start doing in October or November.
Yeah.
And I start working that process in October or November, partly because I know I have more willpower and more energy in those months, because once January comes around, I have a total holiday hangover and I get sad, not hangover because I'm drinking too much. Just please hear that, everyone. But just, you come off the holidays, right? You come off the holidays, you get kind of sad or depressed because man, that was so festive and eventful and there was so much good and blah, 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 blah. And you come in January and I always feel like my willpower has dropped tremendously because I'm kind of above big high. And so if my willpower has kind of dropped, I'm kind of bummed out. It's way harder to do something new or something difficult. And so I start mine in late October or November, and I've had way more success when I do that.
I think you're right. With the resolutions and the holidays, it seems like a lot of people's resolutions are in reflection or response to something that happened in the holiday season.
Yeah.
Whether it's Thanksgiving or being with crazy family or what have you, we make decisions based on those things. Whereas I have always just kind of felt like the resolution um, should help me solve something, solve something that's going on in my life. So one of the ones that really stuck for me, I can't remember the date, Melissa. You put a lot of pressure on me, um, but I had decided I just wanted to stop drinking soda, and so I kind of made that the emphasis for the new year. Got through January on the resolution, got into Lent, made a Lenten commitment to not drink soda, and it's been like 8 years since
Wow.
I've had a soda of any kind.
That's fantastic.
um, but I do try to embrace new things every year uh, that are kind of like holistic, if you will. So this year, in 2016, I went through my Utmost for His Highest, a little daily devotional. I'm going to do that again this year. So I'm kind of making that commitment to do that every morning again. Um, I tend to have some kind of like diet related goal um, each year. I don't know what that's going to be just yet. And then I try to set something before me that I will indulge in to some extent, if you will. So I usually set like a reading goal. I usually set some kind of, when I say indulge, like embracing certain like flavors of coffee from around the world and just kind of exploring those things. So try to do both, like take away something, embrace something, but do it holistically. So it's like food, spiritual, fitness, whatever. How do you guys see that kind of thing tying in with the church though? Like with resolutions and goal setting for the new year, it's also a pretty significant moment in the life of the church. I know Christmas season carries on beyond the new year, so there's that thing, and then there's this little lull often in January for churches. Is this something that the church should embrace or can strategically kind of implement when we talk about resolutions?
It's funny that you say that because I was thinking the exact same question I was about to ask you. It's funny because if you think about it, many mainline denominations, the church year starts actually at Advent. Advent 1 is the beginning of the new church year. It's not January 1. It's not, it's more liturgically based. But I was going to ask you the similar question, like how do we do this cyclically with the church or congregations? And I wish I could answer that question, but it was the question I had. So what
I
do
beat
you
you
guys
to
think
it.
about that?
That means Stephen has to answer
Yeah,
Okay.
because he's wise and has a crown on.
yeah. Well, hello. No, I think I think we as people of faith, especially if like Melissa said, if you're in a mainline denomination, and you really do observe the liturgical calendar or the Christian calendar, I think you live with a foot in both worlds, right? The new year does start with Advent, but at the same time, in the psyche of the people and their everydayness, their everyday life, the media that surrounds us, advertising, everything else, the new year also starts on January 1st. And so I think you can use, when we think about Advent, we're really thinking about this is a time to prepare for a time of waiting and a time of preparation for what is to come. And so I think knowing that for most of our people, this idea of a New Year's resolution, wanting to be better, because that's generally what the New Year's resolutions are about. Nobody says, this year, I want to eat more fast food, or this year, I want to read less, or this
That's right.
year,
That's right.
I think I'm going to be a 10% more jerk. Like, no one says that, right? So it's always about wanting to be better, right? And so if that's already in our people's psyche, if they're already thinking about ways of improving, I think we need to one, help them think about that, like Bryant is saying, in more holistic ways, right? To also help them and encourage them and know that this is a time of year that we're all trying for something better. But at the same time, this is also a time of year where the vast majority of us are going to fail, at least to some extent, in that trying. And so there's a piece of grace and acceptance and love there. So I think being attuned to that in our preaching, our teaching, our studies, the things we go, if our folks are not doing it outrightly, it's in their subconscious and they're thinking in those terms anyway. So why not go ahead and maximize that and make sure that we're a voice in that.
Kind of makes me think about like, January, February, March, all the like exercise gyms are full and packed.
Yep.
Um, they're just maxing out, and they don't set up a real system to help people be successful most of the time. I think it's a big marketing ploy and kind of a business ploy to get people to sign up, and to some extent, some of them take advantage, maybe not all. But the church has a good opportunity there to catch folks,
Mm-hmm.
to help support them, and be engaged in both the success and for what some people may experience as a failure, to kind of relaunch. I think that's a good place for the church to lie. Is if you've set this resolution and there's this thing in your life that you want to change, and then for whatever reason you don't follow through on it, the church is there to say, to help pick up people and say, let's start again. I think that's the beautiful thing of grace, is that we have this opportunity to start over, even when we have failed, and even when we haven't kept up. Making the bed every day, or whatever it is. We have that space as a church to support people, to provide accountability and help create the next step.
Also helping people think about their, because most of the time our goals and things we think about are, I think most of the time it has to do with how we eat, how we exercise, weight. Sometimes it's about attitude, whether anger or things like that. Most of the time it's about something like that, but helping people think about sort of their spiritual new year, their spiritual goals. And I'll even go beyond just saying I'm going to read the Bible every day for the next year. Maybe even try to push folks to think about even beyond that. I mean, because that's a good thing, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's going to be a tool, and that's going to shape you, and it's going to mold you. But maybe try to even think deeper beyond just something you're going to do. But what kind of person do you want to be 1 year from now? 365 days from today, who do you want to be in the mirror? Who do you want people to know you as? And I would even come up with a character sketch of who you want to be. What are the qualities that people want to that you want to embody, that you want people to observe in you? What kind of people do you want to surround yourself with, and what kind of people do you want to be drawn to you? And what are you going to do in the world? And so develop that character sketch. Ask those hard questions. Take some time to meditate and reflect on those. Every day for the next 365 days, start actually doing things that lead you to be that person. And it might be reading, it might be meditation, it might be counseling, it might be prayer, it might be that you go to a conference. It could be a million different things.
So I have a question though, and I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I think you're spot on. I just wonder if maybe by reserving that introspection for this end of year, new year thing, maybe we're limiting our own potential to not be doing this throughout the year. And I have to say, and I know there are a lot of people who can be successful with New Year's resolutions. It sounds like, Bryant, that's become very much a part of your own personal healthy rhythm. I am not that person. And so
yeah, isn't a resolution just a solution to a problem?
Yeah, so why do we reserve that for just the end of the year? Like, I really resonated with the stuff Stephen was saying, but I kind of feel like, well, isn't it a shame that we can't be doing that every day of the year? What makes this New Year's so special? Is it because of the clean slate, the psychology of the clean slate? Like, okay, it's new. I don't know, but I feel like every day is a new day.
I think the reason why a lot of folks wait or start at the new year is because we do know clinically, and we do know just from sociology, that you are much more likely to follow through with something that you commit to if you have accountability, and also if you're doing it with a group of people, which provides the layer of accountability, but it also provides encouragement, right? And so I think one of the sociological reasons why it's New Year's is just because there's an impetus, there's accountability, and you're doing it as a part of a larger humanity. You're doing it as a part of a broader group. So I would say, yes, I completely agree with you. I hope that we wake up every morning with new resolve. I mean, the Bible talks about that actually, but that we wake up and that anytime that we see a change that needs to be made, that we do it. I just think maybe January 1 is a trigger point, at least culturally for us as 21st century Americans. It's a trigger point that allows us to do that in a broader context than just our own lives.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think we should always be in processes of refinement and reflection.
hope and pray that the church can be the body that continues to cheer people on in that process. Whether it starts in January or at some point through the year, I still just keep getting a kick out of our decorations. This mustache is killer. Yeah, hopefully the church can be that and be the cheerleader for its members and be the cheerleader for change in life and be the one that's calling people to something that's looks and sounds and tastes and moves and breathes more like God in their life, you know.
I have this amazing sound effect that I want to play, but I feel like a royal decree needs to come after it. So, Stephen, are you up for it?
What needs to come after it?
A royal decree.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, don't go yet. Think of it. Let me know when you got it.
Should be profound. Don't let us down.
Only Stephen can do this because he's always wise and deep and introspective.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
No pressure.
Okay, all right, I'm ready.
Don't let us down. Are you ready?
We're all counting on you.
Yeah, I think so. Henceforth, from this day forward, all ye in the Royal Highness Stephen Ingram's royal kingdom that surrounds his royal desk will make the resolution to wake up every morning, deciding to be a better person.
I wish you the very merriest of Christmases and a happy and healthy and abundant 2017. And so I wish you all the very, very best. And I wish all of our listeners happy and healthy Christmas and Happy New Year.
No matter what you do, I mean, New Year's is an opportunity to reflect and to look forward and just think about who you want to be, who God's made you to be, and how you can live that out. And don't worry about all the other expectations, because the one that really matters is the one that God calls you to. And I hope you'll take some time, reflect on that, and move forward in beautiful and new ways that at the end of the day are going to change the world. So go and do good.
Yeah, and my prayer for each of you that this is a season full of joy. And just so everybody knows, we're going to take a couple weeks off, and then we will be back on the back end of January with a whole new spring series of shows. Stephen, Melissa, it's been so good to spend some time with you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and we'll see you again in a couple weeks.
Ha ha!